Hi, I'm Fern Long, and this is Mary Babineau, and this is our show Layer here at the 50/50 Arts Collective. We have been working together for 3 or 4 years. We met at art school at Vancouver Island School of Art, and met in a drawing class and knew we wanted to eventually maybe do a show together. So we put together a proposal to do a show based on the idea of the urban landscape and wanting to take the raw ingredients of the city, pallets, cardboard, plastic, anything we could find, and build a show with it, both drawing, painting, sculpture, create an installation within the gallery. So we got a residency, the Bonnie Macomb
Cry Studio Residency, often called the BMK Studio Residency, yeah.
And
So
so we
2 months, January, February, so we had a lot of space to work with all the stuff we'd collected. We got people donated used house paints. We allowed ourselves, when we were on the street, if we saw a piece of wire that looked really neat, we'd pick it up. So we collected. Everything in the show was either donated or free. A lot of it was found on the street or in bins. We did buy tape and
nails. And everything else we collected and put together. Not so much as a political statement about the end of the world or the environmental disaster. I mean, that does come into it because that's really important to think about right now, but to just the intrinsic beauty in these materials and how bountiful they are. Like, within weeks we collected everything that's here at the gallery. So and it's there to be seen out in the street. So it was both bringing the gallery inside, and then when you go out into the world to see these things are everywhere. So it was sort of a push and pull between what we were seeing when we were out in the city and bringing it back and reimagining it in the gallery space.
Yeah, there's a lot of process making in it. Neither Fern nor I have worked quite in this way before. It was proposed as an experimental project to take stuff that we find in the streets that appeals to us for whatever reason and translate that and to create an environment where we bring the urban environment, which we both love, and recreate it in an abstract sense in the gallery to share that with people. And we did learn a lot, I think, from working and processing. We did not know what a lot of things would look like, so it was quite an amazing creative experience for me.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like just to take some charcoal from a beach fire on Dallas Road and some cardboard out of the recycling and some house paint and a hammer and see what kind of work you could make using these things. And some of it was a total flop and didn't make it into the show, but a lot of it we got really inspiring results. And being able to work together and see, to see what Mary was making would inspire me to do things that I wouldn't normally do, and I give each other feedback.
And it's interesting because a lot of us, if you see our other shows, Fern does work with cardboard and oil paint, but we both do oil paintings. And to all of a sudden to take on these different materials, but I admire Fern so much. I own 2 of her paintings. And people were saying, but you guys are so different, but we aren't. Our aesthetic's the same. Our warped sense of humor is the same, which helps. And we actually developed a language of talking, which other members in our artist collective would just come and watch us and laugh at us because we knew what we were saying, we knew what we were responding to, but it was like this little private language. But it did create these things like a squashed mattress of bed springs goes into a diptych that we created together, and it just makes sense to us. And it actually, I think it works. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was an amazing creative process as well. There's a lot of trust involved, and play and hard work. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
lots of hard work.
Yeah,
doesn't feel like hard work when creative process is a beautiful thing when it's working like that.
And Fern did mention about it's not highly political and that we didn't intend to talk about you know, the environment or say homelessness, people being out in the streets. But I think a lot of that did come up inherently because of the materials we were using. I've had friends respond to the big work behind us, which was a total collaboration, Loaded, where we collected all the stuff that we knew we wanted to include in it, but we actually created it, Fern and I together, in situ here in about 3 days. And some people have said, oh my God, it looks like you're talking about the people who are out in the streets who are neglected and trodden on, and we try to ignore them and we don't see them. And this one friend said, where is the hope? And I've had other people say, oh, there's so much joy in it. And I think those are artists responding to the use of materials and the pleasure we find in it. So it's interesting to see how people respond to it too. Mm-hmm. That was unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. And what we see isn't necessarily what everyone sees. Yeah. And it's so great in the process of having the show and people coming to the gallery to get an opportunity to see these other interpretations of how people read the work and how they reflect on the place that we all live.
Yeah, and interesting, Fern pointed out, she said, well, who's gonna, well, you know, in the throes of creativity, it's like, why are we doing this? Well, we're compelled to make art, and it was a fabulous process. But we knew, even though there are prices on many articles here, that we weren't doing it to sell art, we were doing it to create a conversation, and it was one of the best openings I've ever been in, because everyone was talking, everyone was responding, and that's the purpose of this art, to create the dialogue and the conversation, that people could look at stuff from the streets and talk about our community and about what we're making and what we're looking at or not looking at and trying to find ways out. It was just, the conversation was what the art was about in the end. It was so exciting. Mm-hmm. That was so exciting.
It really is. And it has been all the way through the show. So it's good to get to share it with the community that way. And get so much back, you know. It's like you make this thing, and now you get this incredible feedback and response.
Yeah, people have been really wonderful coming to the show and talking with us. Yeah, it's been very fortunate. Mm-hmm.
So we'd like to expand the show and take it, because we could take this on the road and do it about 3 times bigger. Yeah. We'll see.
And even Fern's Asteroid, there was a conversation opening night, which I could just overhear. A number of people said, it's like public art, but it isn't. Take it to a park and get people to respond to it. And I love this idea. So, really an interaction with the materials. And I think because people recognize them and start thinking about them in their own ways and what it means to them.
That would be a great way to
I'd love to see
take even some of these places, like to place this out on a street corner. And take its photo.
And this is all found material. I've got like metal strapping that was in a disposal bin, and just.
No, I think once we move out of the gallery, it'd be really interesting to take this work back. See, even right now, I'm like, Mary, guess this is a great idea. Let's go. Sorry, we got to take this out on the street. Do a series of photos. Right?
It's just like you keep making work. You keep the materials there. Yeah, we have a photo album that shares, we both see the city in similar ways. Like I said, we have that aesthetic. And the photos, sometimes it's hard to tell who took what, although Fern's a photographer, so hers are better. But you'll see what we're shooting in an abstract way. We've reinterpreted with the materials from the street, and it is in the artwork. Some people say that gives them the connection to how we created them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a great process. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
World domination.
Yeah. Step by step.
Yeah.